Hi, this is Mike from Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To, and on today's video we'll be taking a look at AOC's latest hard mouse mat. This is the AMM 700 RGB. Keep watching to find out more. Okay, so in today's video we're taking a look at AOC's latest RGB gaming mouse pad. Now this is a hard pad, so for those of you that are looking for something nice and foamy and spongy, this isn't for you. And actually this is part of AOC's growing range of peripherals now for gamers, such as keyboards, mouse pads, headsets, all those kinds of things. So if possibly this isn't up your street, there's a ton of other options available, and I'll put some links in the video description below. This was kindly sent to us by AOC for review purposes, and sadly it has to go back after, so if I like it, it's going to be a real shame. If I don't like it, well, who cares? Anyway, moving on from that, let's take a look at it. So we'll do a quick unboxing. We'll go through, show you the software, because this actually is controlled by software for the RGB, etc. And then we will give it a test with some gaming, see how it does. And then at the end, we'll come back with my final thoughts. There will also be a roundup video, which will combine this mouse pad with AOC's GM500 mouse and also the GK500 keyboard. So get subscribed to see how that all goes. But anyway, let's get on with this one. So this is, as you can see, the AMM 700 mouse mat. This supports the Lighting FX Sync, which is AOC's own proprietary software, which you can then combine other gaming peripherals. So if you want your keyboard, your mouse, your headset, and maybe your monitor as well, if you've got an Agon monitor, then potentially you can synchronize all of these devices in one nice little app, which is absolutely brilliant and something we would like to see on more manufacturers, please. So this is part of the Agon gaming range from AOC, and in this bottom corner we've got some more information about the specs. So we've got Light FX, as we said, so up to 16.8 million customizable colors. We've also got synchronization with other peripherals. We've got anti-slip rubber base, and also we've got a micro texture cloth surface. On the back, pretty much more of the same, so let's take it out of the box and see what it's actually like. So first of all, opening out of the box, we are greeted with actually not a great deal, which is probably a good thing. So we've got a quick setup guide, which essentially is extremely simple. All you need to do is plug in the USB 2.0 connection into your PC and download the software. That is one of the downsides of this particular mouse pad. The RGB on it, there's no way of controlling other than through the software. So if you're looking for one of those where you can just press a button or change something actually on the pad itself, sadly, that isn't an option on this particular model. Also, we get a warranty card, so this is covered with a 2-year EU warranty. And last of all, we get the pad itself. And as you can see, as it is pretty much self-supporting, this is a hard base mat. So I particularly like these, much prefer them. You don't have to rely on the surface underneath it being particularly hard or particularly stable. This will do the job for you. So taking off the plastic cover, you can see we've got this really nice, actually very tight mesh top panel there, which is really good and does actually feel very good. This is it's not waterproof as such, it is water resistant, so any spills or anything like that you can just wipe off very easily, so it's all protected in that respect. The RGB element I actually quite like as well, the fact that they've made the RGB actually sandwiched between the two layers. So on the bottom we've got our rubberized non-slip backing, which actually is very grippy indeed. Then on the top obviously we've got our micro mesh, and in between those two layers there is actually an RGB element, which you'll probably be seeing from some B-roll, and we'll also check it out a little bit later also. So really nice, no kind of edges to this at all. You do find with some of these RGB mouse mats that there's a kind of almost like a braiding effect around the outside edges, where they're using kind of like fiber optic kind of plastics or translucent plastics, and there's a definite edge around it. Whereas with this, actually, when it's on the desk, it is essentially very flat, and actually flatter than most mouse mats, the standard foam type ones. So for some people, depending on your grip style and also rubbing along the side, it's actually very comfortable. The mouse mat itself is connected to your PC via the USB cable, which is a braided cable, 1.5 meters long in length, so pretty decent, and you've got a gold connection on the end there, which really isn't that necessary because it's only USB 2 data transfer, but certainly a nice thing to see. I'm not entirely convinced about the accents on this. I've said this before for a lot of AOC products. I think the time has come for accents to go. I know most brands do it, Asus for example, and also you've got Corsair, which have that yellow accent on a lot of their stuff these days. But I think realistically nowadays, I think we should be able to make our own choice for color combinations, so maybe next time just a plain blacked out cable would be great. Now for those of you who are wondering what size this measures in at 14 by 10 inches. I'll put the details on the screen and I'll put it in metric for those of you living elsewhere. But yeah, I think this is actually probably one of the better sizes for mouse mats, especially if you're maybe slightly limited on space and you don't have the room for like a full width one. Also, it doesn't really take up a great deal of room, as in that kind of hump. I really like the fact that it's very, very flat. Some people may prefer something a little bit more spongy. I actually really like this, and the texture on the top. The mesh on the top is a really unusual one. I've not really come across this before. It's an extremely tight kind of knit or weave, and it almost feels like an extremely tight kind of denim. So this should last a very long time. And actually, because the pores of the fabric itself are actually very, very small, I think this is going to take a real beating. So if you're the sort of person that's eating at your desk on a regular basis, as a lot of us gamers do, then I think this is going to be actually really easy to keep clean. But we'll do a water test on it a little bit later and see how that goes as well. Going back to the design, as we should do, on the top here we've got this Agon section. So this effectively is kind of like the microprocessor in there. So all of the RGB is controlled by this little block here. And actually I think it adds a nice little touch to it, rather than just being kind of like a solid piece of plastic down the side or a strip along the edge. Having this nice little accent there is good. And actually there does appear to be a little bit of attention to detail there. So it is almost like a brushed aluminium type effect design on there. Absolutely great. And also the Agon logo, which is in there, also lights up to be the same color as the outer perimeter of the mouse mat. So I think that's it. Let's get this thing fired up, see what the RGB is like. We'll take a look at the software and we'll do the rest of the tests as we go on. Okay, so we've dimmed the lights a little bit so you can see what the RGB is like on here, and also you've probably seen some B-roll as well. I'll be honest with you, the RGB effects on here are a little bit on the dim side, I'll be completely honest with you. Very, very understated, and actually because you've got the outer edge glow on a white desk or something like that, actually it looks really nice. But it doesn't glare in your eyes as well, so if you're one of those people that are gaming and you find yourself distracted by other RGB lights, obviously if you've got RGB keyboards and stuff, then probably you're not in that boat. But even if you're not into RGB and you just want a really nice mouse mat, I think it's actually going to tick a lot of boxes for you. So looking at the RGB, as you can see, there is elements around the outside edges. So it's not fully lit all the way around. Does kind of expand and contract, so there is quite a minimal RGB effect there. And also, one thing I should point out as well, like I said earlier in the video, this is what you're going to get if you just install it into your PC and don't install the software. It goes to their default kind of red and black layouts, and again we've got the Argon logo which is lit up there. Again, this is absolutely fine if red and black is your thing, excellent. Turn yourself into Robocop, whatever you want to do. But if you want to change the RGB settings, then you're going to have to head over into the app, which we'll do right now, and I'll give you a close-up of the mouse mat now, so when we make changes actually in the application, you can see them in real time actually on the mouse pad itself. Okay, so the first thing you're going to want to do is to open up and, well, actually first of all download the app. So this is AOC's G-Tools app, and you can open up this. So we've got various options on here. If you've got more devices connected, then you can cycle through them here, and you've got the option for FX Sync, which will sync all devices, or you've got Light FX, which will do individuals. So choose which one, and you've got various profiles you can set there as well also. It's a reasonably decent piece of software actually, considering it's a very new thing from them. Just seemed to work very well. So you've got options for pulsation, brightness levels. It's on the brightest at the moment. So you've got single LED color, which is what we're currently in at the moment. So if we hit random and then click apply, then we go into the kind of the unicorn puke type thing. So it just goes through the color cycle. And obviously you can choose individual colors should you wish to. So let's go for a green. Apply, and there we go, we've got our green. Again, it's not very bright, I'll be honest with you, it's not very bright at all, which is unusual. I thought it was going to be a little bit brighter. So I know you've got static, so if you don't like the pulsing version, then you can just hit apply on static, then you just get a solid color, and then we can obviously go into random. It'll go through various colors. You can pick your individual color from the color picker here, and also lighting wise, you've got direction, which is grayed out, so maybe there is another version which will actually allow you to change the direction, but it certainly doesn't appear to here. Doesn't seem to be anything we can do. It is actually really limited, but then again, I guess it is a mouse mat. It's only designed to really be of use for actually tracking your mouse, which is something we should check now. So that is the software. Again, you can change the colors. So that is probably what most people are going to be asking. Can I change the color to something I prefer, or can I have some rainbow puke in my life, please? In which case, obviously, yes, you can. So let's have a test now with the actual mouse and see how well it games. Okay, so we've done some gaming and done some testing, and actually I like this a lot. It's very smooth and it tracks really well. Now, depending on what sort of gameplay you're into, you may find it benefits or possibly actually slightly hinders you. For extremely twitchy play, there is a very, very minute amount of drag. Now, I'm using the AOC GM500 mouse with this as well. This is a Pixart 3325 sensor, and it's like butter. It really is. If I get closer, you can hear it. It skates around so gently, it's unbelievable. So it is extremely smooth. Now, it's quite a heavy mouse as well, so you do have to bear that in mind also. But yeah, it does move around really nicely. So for certain things like tracking quickly, yeah, it's just, I don't know. It's one of those things, obviously individuals are gonna like certain elements, but if you like a very smooth surface to game on, or to actually just do anything, for video editing this is going to be great, especially also photo editing. If you're trying to edit photos and you're really pixel peeping and you're trying to get those accurate things, then it's great. I've actually done an accuracy test on this as well, and again, yeah, it's pretty much flawless. I'm not great, but the mouse pad itself is doing a fantastic job. So let me know what you think about this one in the comments section below. Is this something that you'd be interested in? Are you a little bit put off with the fact that you have to install software to actually take control of the RGB? I would have loved for this to have been just one of those things you can just plug in and it goes straight into rainbow puke mode, or maybe even do some sort of capacitive sensor in this Agon logo bit here. I think that would have been quite an easy thing to do. I don't know, I'm not really an electronics engineer, but certainly having a touch sensor in there to tap through colors on there, I think would make this almost a perfect product. Now, we should talk about price in a moment. In the UK, this is retailing for under £20, which I think is pretty much a steal for what it is. Mouse mats themselves, a decent one, they're not cheap. You're going to be paying this money and above for a decent mouse mat, and this texture, again, is one of those things which I've not experienced before. It's a very, very tight weave. It's difficult to explain what it's even like. Again, I guess in terms of toughness, it's pretty much like a kind of like a denim, but it's an extremely close knit denim, if at all. So yeah, it's a very unusual thing. And one thing we should do as well, we should test the water on it to see what that goes like, and we'll look at some beading. I'll probably add that in as B-roll after and let you know obviously if there's any problems, but from what I can tell, there shouldn't be. The weave on this is so tight, I can't see it letting anything through, especially water molecules. Anyway, I'm wittering now, so this has been the Agon AMM700. I've been Mike, this is Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To, and hopefully we'll catch you guys in the very next video. Thanks for watching.